Hello, welcome to PrusaLive 33. Glad to have you guys all here. I'm joined by Mikola Sousa, a giant brute, and unfortunately, no Joseph Prusa. Joe is currently on an airplane right now on the way to Dubai to be part of the Dubai Expo that we are participating in. We probably have a couple of sneak peeks for you there later on in the show, but there's some fun stuff coming out from Dubai very soon.
I mean,
So
he could surprise us with joining from the plane, but it's
he could he
yeah,
mentioned it, but I don't know
probably
that that
not.
will be the
Yeah,
best idea. But we shall see. So yeah. We've got a great show for you this week. Taylor Getz from Sacr3d or Sacr3d Etching is joining us to show off his laser etched Prusa frames, which will be a lot of fun. But yeah, we've got a lot going on. Why don't we kick it off with our PrusaPrinters picks of the week? What do you got, Mickey?
sure. So if you've opened PrusaSlicer 2.4, you might have noticed the helpful tips at the bottom, and I've drawn the vector image for that, and I wanted to make the 3D model as well, but 2 days later, someone already made it, so I have the helper Prusa Clippy. Uh, it's done by
Clippy Joe.
Clippy Joe, yeah, NC Sander. Yeah, I thought it was really cool that someone beat me to it. Just obviously I assume he liked or she liked it as well. So yeah, love it. I think
Yeah.
it's really cute, even though that kind of feels like petting myself on the back. But yeah,
It's very fun. And it goes very well with all of Neil himself's like Prusa mates. Like
yeah, the Prusament.
it fits in there so
The
well.
aesthetic is very very similar. Yeah. What do you have, Matt?
Yeah. So I have been working on judging the games contest, and I have Don't Break the Ice,
Ooh.
which is
Oh,
one
I've
of
seen
the
that.
games from the games contest. I will say it wasn't necessarily one of my favorite games, but there is something kind of fidgety fun of sitting and tapping out the blocks with your little hammer. And so yeah, even if you're not playing, it's kind
So
of
what are the rules? What's the goal to
to tap out the blocks, but not be the person who makes the whole thing fall
Oh,
down.
okay, yeah.
Which it kind of comes down to every game, like every other, like whoever starts. So it's a little tic tac toe-y, which you know it loses its fun as a game. But I think that the kind of fidget factor of this one of sitting there and tapping out the ice blocks is really fun. And I really appreciated one of the things that they did on the design on that, which is they made this top section. He made three different ones, or they made three different ones that had different tightnesses. So based on
Oh,
on
nice.
how your printer is really performing, you could pick different tightnesses of how hard the blocks would be.
Nice. That's fun, friend.
Yes. Mine is in a very non-icy Galaxy Black, but yeah. So, and that is by, I'm going to screw this up, Sahori, I believe. Um, I apologize if I'm screwing your name up. I'm sure I am. But yeah, fun model.
Nice. We were speaking about Dubai, so I might just go ahead and do the little sneak peek.
Yeah, yeah,
Right.
we're off into our kind of news and what's going on section.
Right.
Let's
So
show off.
yeah, I mean, in a nutshell, the Expo 2020 is happening in Dubai, even though it's 2021. It's still called Expo
Right.
2020.
And
And
if you're kind of confused by that, like think about like old school World's Fair kind of thing. But this is a Dubai thing. So every country has their own like pavilion
yeah,
where they're showing off stuff that's going on in their country, and we have been privileged to be part of the Czech pavilion. So yeah,
so we will have an exhibition there. more info is coming soon. I mean, Joe is on the way, but I have a little sneak peek of some of the things that you will be able to see and do there. So these are snowflakes, kind of, abstract imagination of them, and a sculpture will be growing at the expo, and you will be able to design and print your own snowflake and then connect it to the rest of the sculpture. And there is something cool about the filament as well. It's like a little bit special. Some black light will be there, so I think it will look pretty incredible. But that's the little sneak peek that I will do right now without getting into more detail.
Very cool.
So that is Dubai for now.
Yeah. So keep an eye out over the next couple days. Again, the expo opens on the 1st, so a little over a day away, and Joe will be there to kind of kick it off. So as we know more, we will let you know more.
We are also celebrating Prusament's 3rd birthday. I can't believe it's been 3 years since we announced it. It's time flies. And we are doing a special promotion. If you buy a Mark III, a Mark III's Plus either kit or assembled, you get 4 Prusament spools for free. So you get the 1 kilo in the box and 4 more. And the promotion is actually right about to end. So you have your last chance to get some more filament if you were thinking about buying the printer. But I'm gonna kind of assume that many of our viewers already have our printer, but still nice to get it out there.
And I mean, if you're considering getting another, adding to your farm, like now's an awesome time to go ahead and do so, because who doesn't want more filament, and free filament is great.
We are also doing the bundles.
Yeah, the bundles.
And those are really nice, and those are staying. We are not going to. Those are not just promotion. So those are staying. So it's for one. The price is nice because it's 4+1. But I honestly like that it kind of removes the difficult choice of which colors to get, because the bundle kind of just has it all that you might want. So I think that's pretty nice.
Yeah.
The best sellers,
definitely helps out.
Yeah, the best sellers are always mostly, neutral colors, good for mechanical parts. And then we always have one bundle that is mostly vibrant colors that, just look nice. So those are the bundles, and last chance to get the 4 extra spools with the Mark III.
Right, but lots of bundle joy staying for good.
Yes.
And we will discuss the bundles here more in a second.
Yeah.
So we, as I mentioned, we just had our games contest.
Yes.
And we have the winners announcement today. So I'm hoping maybe some of the winners might be watching.
I definitely saw at least one person who was attending the contest saying that unfortunately they can't watch live, but that they will watch in the replay. So.
All right.
Hey, whatever that was.
Yes. So let's get down to the winners. Do you have that post up, Mickey?
I do. I have it ready on.
Fantastic.
So I will just scroll down. So we start from the
number 3.
Yeah. Actually, we can start, I guess, with the most liked, the community awards.
Yeah. We can start there.
We can go.
Yeah. So. One of the things that we have been doing with our contests is awarding the community picks also. So these are the entries that had the most likes voted on by you guys on PrusaPrinters. So we have the Snap Together Marble Maze, the Flow Snake Fractal Print, the Prusament Spool Race.
That's nice.
Yeah. The travel chest tube, which actually I really liked this one.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah. And the organic chess pieces. There were a lot of chess models. No surprise with the eternal popularity of chess. So yes, that there were lots of them, but these 2 are the ones that got up there in some of the most liked. I will say there were a couple in the couple overall that we really liked, and a couple overall and the kind of most liked that we unfortunately had to disqualify because they were direct copies of commercial games, which was against the rules in this particular contest, because we don't want to step on the IP of other companies. But there were still lots and lots of great entries. So who was our number 3?
So let's go to third place.
Yeah.
It's the Elastic Football by Wilco SLO, and this one is so fun. I love how like functional this one is.
Yeah, it's really cool how he designed the kind of rubber band mechanism to make the yeah. pieces pop the ball around. And I just, so many games that are board games and things like that can kind of be slow paced and very like you think things through. This is a good fun paced game that's a little bit more skill based than just like strategy based. Obviously there's a little strategy here too, but
really like brings out some of the childhood memories. I had some like, I think it was hockey that worked kind of in a similar principle where you had to move the puck with this spring system, but I would never imagine that. I completely forgot about it for the last 20 years. So it's really nice to see something similar.
And it makes me think about foosball also.
Yeah.
And here in the U.S., like the kids of like the 70s and 80s, there was like this like weird like vibrating football game that had some kind of similarities to this. And so, I think there's a lot of nostalgia wrapped up in this one too. So I think it was an easy winner there.
So huge congrats to Wilco. You get the third place and some Prusament.
Yes. Yeah, so you get 2 spools of Prusament.
So I'm just gonna close this, and we can move to the second place.
Second place.
What's it gonna be? It's Occupied Brain, and it's Upshot. Upshot, yeah. Actions have consequences. And this one is really complex, right? It
is. I really enjoyed the fact that this kind of like combines like almost an aspect of like a Rubik's Cube with your kind of traditional like racing game, like rolling dice and choosing how you're going to move your pieces. But the kind of colored sections that you see, they spin, and so as you're rolling your dice and taking your turns, you actually will rotate and change the way that these pathways line up, attempting to get your piece the whole way to the top. And so not only are you affecting your run as you go up, but you're affecting your opponent's runs also, which I thought was really neat.
It's the instructions are. I love how people are now using the text editor on PrusaPrinters.
Oh yeah. The instructions are great. Providing the video. Also, and one of the things I thought really kind of went the extra mile on this one is that he did take the time to make the carrying case for all the extra bits too.
I just wanted to say that. That's so nice that it comes with a travel box built in, basically.
Yeah, because so often when you have like games with lots of pieces, especially like if it's a 3D printed game that doesn't come with, with a cardboard box that was putting it on the shelf, like you end up like having to stick everything in a Ziploc bag or like find some other way to like not lose all your pieces. And the printed box was a really, really, I think, great extra touch on this one.
And now for the grand winner, first place, and that model is incredible.
Yeah.
So the Mark III S Plus kit goes to Peaklin and his Stable War board game. And I mean, just looking at it on first glance, you can see that. Oh, this is so.
It looks like a professional or a professional board game, right?
Yeah.
Like it doesn't look at all like some kind of homemade, whatever. Like this looks like something that you would buy in a store.
Exactly, it's like ready to make a product out of it, basically.
Right.
And it has a there's the rules, but it has a nice backstory that I believe Peaklin describes here, where he wanted to make the dynamite cloak for the timekeepers, but someone beat him to it, so he kind of put the project on the side. And yeah, then we made this contest with puzzles and games, and he kind of rethinked his idea, and yeah, just made the model.
Yeah,
usable.
it was like I said in the blog post about this, it was like kind of a perfect timing for him of, you know, he took something that I didn't have time to get there, and you know, it ended up being kind of the time advantage that he needed to end up putting together something good enough to win this one. So I'm sure he is definitely not upset about being late on the timekeepers when he realizes that he won this one.
And yeah, so nice. Everything is in folders, and then there's the manual as PDF.
Yeah,
but overall,
I will say, if anyone out there is hot on Arduino programming, he is definitely looking for some help on the programming side to help improve this game. In that, I believe you have to remove the batteries or hit the reset or something every time to kind of restart the timer on this game, and so he could use a little bit of help, I think, figuring out how to make that a little smoother of a process.
There were so many awesome contributions. We awarded the ones that we thought are the best, but this choice is always so hard.
It's so rough.
Definitely worth going through all of. Oh my god, the puzzler kit, I love the model. It's so nice. Dino Balance is very fun. We had
I have not stopped playing Dino Balance since I printed it out. It sits on our kitchen island, and we had some family come visit, and everybody just kept on playing it. It's a ton of fun. Unfortunately, it is a copy of a commercial product, and so.
But yeah, I definitely encourage you to go through all the submissions, because I definitely am printing so many board games for, you know, whenever we get to play it with my friends. So I'm really looking forward to trying, you know, as many of these as I can.
Yeah, it's definitely a good time.
And even some nice accessories like this dice tower. I really like how it's, you know,
Split.
two-sided. So yeah, so it's split, so it's clear, you know, it's your dice. Overall, just really thank you everyone who participated. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, it was a great competition. You guys did a great job. And we always get so blown away by the creativity of this community and what you guys come up with. Every time, you know, we kind of have an idea of like, oh, we might get stuff like this, and then you guys just like take it to another level, and it's really great. So thank you. As contest goes, we also already have another contest running right now. We wanted to wait until PrusaLive was happening to be able to announce the winners, but we didn't want to wait too long to get our other contest started. So we are almost halfway through our next contest, which is the upgrades, mods, and accessories competition. So the real key to this one is we don't want you just coming up with something, you know, just in and of itself. We want you to come up with something that interacts with another specific product. So to enter this, you need to actually include the name or a link to the actual product that you are building this for. We think this is a really great opportunity to kind of, you know, take the things that we all use on a daily basis and, you know, improve on them.
I really like it.
Yeah, it's really great. I think Andre had a great idea that we kind of, you know, expounded upon, and as you can see, you guys are already running with it.
Yeah, so many submissions already.
Yeah. I think, you know, again, I think this is an easy one in some ways, because I know I have a tendency sometimes to like build something that's like, oh, I made this to like help with this particular thing, but nobody else may be interested in it, and so I don't necessarily upload it. So my guess is that a lot of people are sitting out there with like, you know, oh, you know, I built a holder for the screwdriver, or, you know, something like that, and you know, whatever, I'll just go ahead and submit it, and give it a try. And they may not have necessarily uploaded it previously. So
these models are so helpful. Very often I just buy something and I should design, holders, some attachment for it. I'm like, wait a second,
right.
like I bet you someone has already done it. So 99%, of the time, someone already have, and I can find a model, and it's really nice to be able to do that.
Right, and the key to this again is that it's for specific products. So now, if you go out and buy, for instance, the new iPhone, we'll use that as an example. So you do a search for, it's 13, right? If you do a search for iPhone 13, now you'll find the things, specifically for that product, which, iPhone wasn't really something you had a hard time searching for in most online repositories anyways. But we will hopefully expand far beyond your iPhones in accessories.
I'm really looking forward to talk with Taylor. So I guess let's get to it. I have one last super short thing, and that is PrusaSlicer 2.4 Alpha 2 is out. And the main thing, there are many improvements, but the one that you will feel is it's so much faster. And the more cores your PC has, the more faster it will feel. So if you're trying the Alpha, definitely upgrade from Alpha 1 to Alpha 2, because it's really, really nice how faster it slices.
Yeah. I want to add one final note onto the discussion of the new contest.
Oh, yeah?
We have some different prizes in than normal.
Oh, that's true.
Which I think is kind of a big deal. So our first place is still getting a Mark 3S Plus kit, but both our second and third places are getting some of the new 5-pack filament bundles. So previously we were only giving away three spools and 2 spools. Now we're giving away 10 spools in total on this competition. So get in there and get your entry in, because even the second and third place come with super nice prizes this time around.
Yes.
So okay, let's get Taylor in here and talk to him about his work. So we are being joined by Taylor Getz. I got the last name right this time, Taylor. I think
you got it right.
After last night, yes. So Taylor is from Sacr3d Etching with a 3D on the end, because you got to have that fanciness. And Taylor makes a great way to customize and personalize your printer without really having to worry about messing with the quality of your prints and worrying about ruining things, because Taylor etches your frames. So,
you're staring at these things for hours and hours every day, and I'm not a super firmware type of guy. I don't really know how to, unless somebody's already done it and I can just download it and do it on my own. I'm not going to go in blindly and try and mod something like that. So my thing is to make it look pretty.
Nice.
So
so when did you get the first idea of like, I want to try to like laser etch these frames and make these things pretty?
Well, I got my laser back in September of last year, and anything that I can find around my house that I could put in my laser, I put in there, and everything besides myself. So I wanted it to look better. Didn't want to make any firmware mods or anything like that. Didn't want to upgrade to the bear mod at first. I have a couple bears, but the original frame is where I started on. So yeah, I took it apart when I needed to change a rod on it and decided that was the time to etch it.
Nice. So, and so what kind of laser are you running? Are you running CO2, or are you running a fiber laser, or what is it?
Currently, I have a Aeon Mira 9 CO2. It's a 100 watt.
100 watts, nice.
Yeah, I'd like to get a fiber laser eventually, but the build area on those, I won't be able to get the long extrusions in there, really.
Right. Very cool.
I can totally see you getting the laser and then just, you know, going around your house and just thinking, what else can I try to laser etch, and just, you know, working your way through your home and laser etching everything.
This is kind of what it's like when you browse the laser cutter like Facebook groups. It's just like, what can I put in now? And,
it's been pretty awesome. I've saved a lot of money actually since I've had it, because now I don't have to go and buy decorations for the house. I could just make it myself.
Right. Yeah, just like having a 3D printer, right? Like the two of them. I think laser cutters and 3D printers go so hand in hand with each other, and you know what you can do. This was something when Joel Telling got everyone, you know, printing all of these phone holders. I did it, but went and laser cut little wood veneers that fit in some of the holes to kind of you know, improve the look a little bit. And that, you know, those walnut veneers with the mystic green look so nice with each other. And so, you know, there's so many things that you can kind of, you know, take lasers and 3D printers and together and make really fun stuff.
Yeah, I've done a lot of like LED signage as well, and to hide the LEDs on the back, I would make a custom 3D printed bezel and cover all the electronics on the back of it.
Yeah. Now, I from some of the videos that you shared with us, I saw that you're kind of jigging up a lot of your beams and other parts to be able to go in the laser, so you have a verifiable slot to, you know, like turn your beams to get all the sides. Are you 3D printing those jigs to go in, or
those jigs are 3D printed. A friend of mine actually helped me with that, because every time I would flip it to the other side, the Z-axis has to change a little bit.
Right.
Even by just adjusting the Z, it would even throw off the X and the Y just a little bit. So instead of moving the whole table itself, there's the two steps on the block. So that way, when you flip it, it just stays at the same height.
Right.
Which has made it way faster.
I think that was a really like genius setup there to do exactly that, because that's what I noticed was that, oh wow, it keeps it at exactly the height, because that's, like you say, that's a little bit of the struggle on those kind of things. And you've got that laser cut acrylic where you can put those in and register everything, you know, perfectly, which is great.
Yeah. So without that, I've got a couple frames behind me that were my test subjects that I've turned into spool holders now. But yeah, with the jig now and the measurements, that took about 6 months to figure all that out. So since then, it's been a lot nicer.
Nice.
3D printers are super addicting to watch, but I think this might be even more addicting to just, you know.
Well,
I mean, this is obviously.
I think this is extra fun, because the stop motion isn't linked entirely with the movement of the head, and so there's sometimes where it just looks like it's growing without the laser passing over it, because it's missing some of the shots there.
Yeah, it looks it messed up, but in a good way.
Yeah,
time lapse.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you've ever watched the time lapse of an SLS, there's some of that same kind of fun of watching the laser pass over and center the material. But yeah, it's great.
Yeah, so I mean, I started with the original Prusa frames. I have a couple designs for that one right now. The first one was that was the second one, which is I have got that being built right now. I'm calling that one Hive Mind.
Nice.
Thought that would be fitting. But yeah, the front plates, the middle, and the back are all a thicker powder coat, obviously, than the anodized extrusions. So those take a couple passes instead of just the one.
Mm-hmm. And so this is the first design?
Yeah. So that was my very first printer that I've actually sold to a buddy since. So far there's only two two Prusas that look like that. I still have one, and then he has the other one right now.
Nice. Limited edition. This would go great with the cyberpunk design that our colleague David did a while back. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then just recently I've been matching my patterns and putting them on the LCD covers and the Einzy case.
Yeah, the extrusions, cool. they look great. So the way it's connecting, that's the jig doing its work, that it aligns so perfectly.
That is help with the jig, but a lot of that is just been a lot of trial and error of measuring, because it's a 90-degree angle, but there's a huge curve on it, and so the way the pattern overlaps on both sides, so it took me months to figure out the perfect number for those overlaps. And then now with the jig, it just makes it perfect every time.
Nice. It looks so easy when it's done, but yeah, that's always the case. Once you figure it all out, it's like, it's
and when I did it on my first printer, I mean, I never imagined that it would be as addicting as it is.
Yeah. So how many patterns in total do you have? So you have that original pattern, you have that Hive Mind pattern. We've seen the Damascus pattern, and then I think I saw one other.
So I have those three that you just mentioned. I have another one called Emulsion, which is very similar to the Damascus, but it's more like, looks like raindrops hitting water almost.
Okay.
I have a Scitech pattern, which I made special for Fugatech, who he asked me to make that for him. And then I liked it so much, I ended up just leaving that on for everyone to have. And I also have my Molecular Hex, which is the very first one that I did for the bear frames, which is what my logo has in it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that bottom left one there, Nikki.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the bottom, that's the Scitech.
Really like it.
Oh, okay.
That's
so, and then now with the molecular hex, I've enlarged the pattern a little bit on more recent frames. Yeah. So that way it's a little bit easier to see it.
Now, are you considering at all doing, and it sounds like you've at least done one, are you considering doing any like custom design? So if someone sends you like a pattern and says, you know, hey, I only want the front of my Prusa to look like this. Like I'm not worried about like wrap overs on any of the other things. I just want this etched into my front. Are you open to that kind of thing?
Oh yeah, 100%. On my website, actually, you can choose if you want to get a frame for me or if you want to send in your own frame, and I can do any kinds of custom patterns, you know, as long as it's like a two-tone type of image. I can't really do much grayscale with these frames, but I'm always wanting to do custom.
Yeah. Mickey, we should like somehow hook him up with like a distributor just for frames, so he can order just frames easily. And
I'm also thinking we should send Taylor some steel sheets without any covering, just the sheet, and some PI stickers so that you can, you know, do some custom laser etching and then put the PI sticker over top of it to make some custom sheets, basically.
So that
what's
that
the coating on the steel sheets?
That would be perfect for a fiber laser. I've done it with my CO2 laser. The person I did it for still hasn't necessarily been able to test it quite yet, which is why I haven't offered it. But what I do with the CO2 is I spray a marking spray on it.
Okay.
And then it pretty much gets sprayed black, and then it laser etches it, and then you wash off whatever doesn't get hit with the laser. But it's permanently on there too.
Nice.
So
it's like a ceramic spray that the heat of the laser puts the ceramic on there.
Right.
Yeah. I wasn't sure if our uncoated steel sheets have any kind of paint on them or not, but I don't think so.
They have some anti-corrosive paint, but I don't think it's really very visible. So probably hard
Yeah.
to etch. Is there any application to laser etching with 3D prints? Is it possible to somehow do it on a plastic thing, or not really?
It is.
I forget who has it out right now, but there is a PLA that is laser etchable with the fiber laser. It
Okay.
specifically says fiber, so I'm not.
I've seen some other just like etches in on kind of standard materials too with like moderate success. It's a matter of like getting your settings really right because it's so easy to kind of melt things instead of etch them. So
I actually use 3D printed material hold downs in my laser because with the PETG, it takes a while for the laser to actually go through that. They work really well.
Yeah. Very cool. And how much is one of your frames? Like if someone wanted to order one of the Prusa frames with, one of your standard, say like the hive mind pattern.
So if they wanted to send me their own frame, it starts at $75.
Okay.
Then you got to throw in the cost of the Prusa frame if they don't have it already. Right now they're $75. Typically I have them at $100. But yeah, I have them marked down just a little bit right now because I'm still trying to get the word out there.
Yeah,
and then
that's a totally reasonable price, and I can see
absolutely
a lot of people being very interested in that because again, like having that Prusa frame that stands out is kind of fun.
Yeah, and if anyone who orders a frame from me, I will send them the STLs to have the matching covers as well, so they can print those out for free.
Nice. And what software are you using to design your designs? Like if someone wanted to design something and then send you a custom, what are you using and what do you recommend?
So I do a lot of work on my iPad using Procreate.
Okay.
And I actually use the program that I use for my laser, Lightburn. I can do a lot on that program as well. So I try and do most of it on my iPad though because it's easier for me to work with the pencil versus the mouse.
Lightburn is such a game changer in the laser industry because the laser software used to be so incredibly bad and non-intuitive and everything, and Glowforge kind of really changed things, but you're stuck in 40 watt just the Glowforge. And now all of these replacement controllers that you can put into all kinds of lasers, as well as lasers shipping with Lightburn compatible controllers, is just great because it's such nice software. And I'm not just saying that because I'm friends with a bunch of the guys who write it, but it is really great.
I had one training session with it, and it took me like 3 days to really know almost everything about it. And it's pretty much my laser with Lightburn was how I would consider a Prusa. It was plug and play. I didn't have to do really anything to my laser, which was nice.
Yeah, that is great. And they've got some really awesome stuff in the pipeline right now too. So
you also have some really fun prints behind you. I love Miss Times. That one is really awesome.
Oh yeah. So this is from Wexter.
Who you have, I think, in the chat.
Of course.
Yeah, of course. Nice.
Yeah, he's hopefully here. So actually, I split his model apart a little bit more. This was right before the paint feature on the Prusa came out.
Yeah.
So I split this apart and turned everything at the right angles that I needed to do manual color changes, and then glued it together.
Nice.
So I'm super happy with how it came out.
That looks great.
And I love this orange. I've been using it for everything. It's actually printed solids.
It looks nice.
Jesse.
Yeah.
I also see I think that's Zombie Hand by Fotis, and I also love that model. Printed it on several occasions. Halloween is coming, so that's a great tip for a model to print.
Yeah, the printers and the lasers have been getting me lots of brownie points this year with saving money on decorations.
Oh yeah, and
I just did this one too.
Yeah, that looks so fun. It's a fun twist on your typical pumpkin.
So I actually printed the top in TPU because it's super pokey.
Yeah.
Oh, right. So that it's not super dangerous.
Right, and if it drops, it won't shatter
Yeah.
now. So I forget who this is by. I've got a couple more resin prints, actually, from Zane Rogers, who they're probably going to be kind of hard to see because it's all resin, but
Yeah.
Nice.
Zane's models are just insane in the levels of detail with them.
yeah, he's such a humble designer too. His work is just incredible.
Yeah.
We have a few questions in the chat, so I guess before we end this,
I looked at the chat and it was flying by so fast I couldn't possibly read it.
So how long does it take, roughly, to etch a frame, one of the designs?
For the original Prusa frames, it takes me, I'd say, probably about 4 hours, just because it has to do multiple passes on those. And then for the bare frames, if I'm only doing just the wide 40 millimeter faces, about the same, about 4 to 5 hours. And then if I'm doing all around the edges, it's like 7 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Which, again, I think when you start talking about what the price is, like realizing how much time goes into it. Now, obviously the machine's running a lot on its own, but still the amount of time that's going into it really makes the price all the more reasonable.
What would make it even nicer is when I get a second laser here, so that way I'll feel better about my price.
Yeah.
And would it be possible to print custom logos and flex plates? We kind of already hit on that topic, so kind of yes.
I would say 100% once I get my fiber laser. Right now with my CO2, it's still up in the air. I'm waiting to hear back from the customer who ordered that from me.
I wonder if there's maybe the satin sheet or something that has the powder coating, if the etching was outside of the print area. Like maybe you could etch all the way to the steel sheet or something.
Unfortunately, if it already has PEI on it, I can't etch it because it is really bad. The fumes that come off
super toxic when it evaporates. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
And the reason the fiber laser is better for it is because they don't run as hot. They're much lower wattage.
Okay.
So the CO2, it warps it just a tiny bit, but once you put the thick sheet of PEI on it, that's what I'm waiting to see if you could still see it over that, which I don't think you will.
And fiber lasers can actually etch steel, whereas CO2 lasers, the wavelength doesn't actually penetrate the steel.
Right. I'm just marking it.
Yeah.
And with the anodized frames, I'm actually not removing the anodize. What it does is the wavelength of the laser bleaches the color of anodization.
Right. Well, very cool. This has been super great. And we really appreciate you coming on the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's been awesome. Sorry Joe couldn't make it, but he's the man, so he's got to do what he's got to do.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
If anyone watching is interested in Taylor's work, I've put all the links in the video description, so you can go to his site and check the designs or contact Taylor directly. And we super hope that we see some etched frames in some of the PrusaLive submissions in the future, because that would be cool. That'd be super rad.
Yeah, it's nice that I'm finally starting to see my work get out there, and it's really cool. It's really humbling. Okay, well, thanks so much for joining us. It was really fun to look at the frames and your work. Thank you guys so much for having me on here. All right, we will talk to you later. See ya. Oh, so much fun. I love people that are able to personalize their printers and seeing how people personalize their printers. But again, like, some things that you can do can kind of mess with performance. And this is just such a nice
like ability to have it your way without compromising
Yeah,
the,
it's great.
the quality of your
It's just visual. Like I can't see
right.
this affecting the print quality in any way whatsoever.
Right.
So it's really really neat. And yeah,
Yeah.
seeing our black frames, I sometimes forget that there's steel under it. That
Right.
it looks shiny and everything because it's coated with the black powder coating. So yeah.
Yeah. Very cool. All right. So I mentioned there a little bit about our PrusaLive contest. Let's get to the results for this week.
Oh yeah. So
It's like it's contest craziness around here.
yeah, that's when we stream when we have a contest on PrusaPrinters as well.
Yeah. I think. Well, yeah. I don't know. We'll see.
So number 3. Oh, number 3 is so great. So the third place goes to Alan Zofer, and it's the Deadpool Ross by Vexer. Oh, such a great print and great model. So funny.
Yeah, and he did such a great job of like posing the prints.
Yeah, the picture is top notch.
Yeah. Yeah.
So good.
This one was very fun for sure, and was an easy pick. Although this month was not, or the show was not an easy pick because there were so many good submissions. Especially when we're having these kind of more extended times between shows. Like there's so many good submissions coming in.
So many that we have too tight for the second place because we simply just couldn't decide. So Matt had the idea of like, okay, we can't decide. Let's just do a tight second place. So the second place, number 1, is by Indesam, and it's actually a model by Out of Marbles, who we just had on the show last time. So I love.
Yeah, this was shortly after the show. He had this, and
I mean, a few prints that doesn't look as insane, but I mean the huge tower, that's crazy.
Yeah, and I think this was even taller than the tower that we showed off on the last show. So I don't know for certain, but I think there's a couple extra modules in this one.
It's awesome that it's that the models of our guests are now making it back into the contest. So love to see that, and here's a bit of it in action. Yeah, great job in this time. So that's
I really want to print one of these.
Yeah. So it was
again. I think when we kind of get back into being able to do like live events again, it's going to be such a fun like booth show off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there was second place, number 1, and we have another second place, and that goes to 3D Print Bunny with a Halloween print that, initially I thought that's cool, but I didn't realize that it's another Tensegrity model by 3D Print Bunny, which is amazing.
Yeah, so if you watch the little GIF below, or the video that she has below in like the connected tweet, she actually like tweaks one of the spiders, flicks one of the spiders, and you can see the whole thing, jiggle in the air, which, I think, specifically, here you go. Yeah, for this like spider model and everything else, like it looks like they're like floating on a web, right? And so I thought this was such a great application of what she's been working on, and I had replied back to her tweet sending this, and like I totally can see other holidays for these kind of things. Like I suggested Santa flying over like a house with his reindeer, kind of flying through the air. So lots of potential fun there.
So there was a second place, and we are now moving to the first place, the winner of this PrusaLive's Show Us Your Prints contest. And loading slowly, and that's deserved first place by Raptoron, and it's the Space Shuttle by Fab365, which is it. The model is fantastic, but the print is just so clean.
Yeah,
incredible.
And I can't remember if we awarded this for another contest a while back or not. The same model, but it's just, I don't know, it's just so good, and like hits on all those childhood memories of watching the space shuttle launch and everything that was going on back at the time.
you know, the space shuttle, the actual shuttle is printed with MMU using the new painting in PrusaSlicer 2.4 Alpha. So it's nice to see the black and white and the blue windows. But yeah, lovely, lovely print. Very nice job.
Yeah, very, very great job. Thank you to everyone who submitted. There was really some, like I said, some great entries this time around, and was very hard for us to pick ones. And in fact, Mickey and I didn't even fully pick because we decided to split number 2 because we just didn't want to give up on those. So yeah, it was a great time, and we appreciate everyone who submitted.
Raptoron is in the chat, so yeah. Again, congrats. Nice to see you here. And I guess that moves us to news and questions, right?
Right. So I will say we are getting a lot of questions about the E3D Revo, and whether or not it will work on our machines. And just to clear that, like, it absolutely should work on our machines. We haven't necessarily put it on or tested yet, but especially the Groove Mount Revo 6, there's zero reason why that shouldn't basically be a drop-in replacement for an E3D V6 that's already in, say, a Mark III's.
There are tons of unofficial mods for our printers already, so this is, you know, just one of them. We don't support it officially, but you can mod the printer, and yeah, you can change it for the Revo, and I guess it can work.
Yeah, I've seen that coming up a lot in the past day, and so.
And did I wonder? I saw there are more questions in the chat. Any update for the MMU in the near future? So, firmware mainly, which will make the MMU communicate with the printer better, so that, you know, it's not just blinking, but it will tell you everything that's going on. That will be great. Also, tons of questions about mini Wi-Fi. So there was just a huge pull request in the firmware repository, which overhauls the networking that was necessary for all of this. So it also includes some overhauls for the Wi-Fi over ESP8266 on the Mini. So some updates on that. Not yet ready to be you know, for the firmware. It's just changes to the networking, not actual firmware that you can test and plug in the ESP, but it should be coming, you know, now sooner now that this is done. Will the option to resume a print after a blackout will be available? So on the Mark III, that's hardware that, you know, works since day one. On the Mini, we are hoping to do some software hack to make that work. Love the new supports in PrusaSlicer Alpha. Thank you. I love them as well. Matt, didn't you have any other questions before the stream started that you picked up? I believe you had some.
Most of the things I was getting was, like I say, specifically for the questions about the Revo.
Okay.
So I'm looking through to see if there's anything else in Discord.
3 supports for FDM in PrusaSlicer. That's a very common question. Right now it's the #1 request we have for PrusaSlicer, so we are well aware of the demand. It will not make its way in the 2.4 alpha, which is it's not feature complete, but it's, you know, coming to the stage where we are gonna mainly polish the new features, not add any more. So unfortunately not in 2.4, but it is definitely on our radar, so we are hoping to add them in the future.
Someone asked about, and this goes into some other questions that are coming out. PrusaSlicer available. So this is Matt Meyer. PrusaSlicer available for the Anycubic Mono X. A lot of those machines right now are all running the same boards and are being locked into PrusaSlicer. So it's not as easy for us to integrate right in. If they wanted to make firmware changes that would allow it to accept PrusaSlicer files, because our outputs for the SL1S are completely open, you could easily make your printer work with that. If they wanted to do it, they could, but it does not necessarily make sense for us to do it. And it might not be 100% on the up and up legality side for us to do it too. It might be considered a violation of the DMCA here in the U.S.
They are also
of their lock-ins.
Yeah, they are also very welcome to do a pull request to PrusaSlicer. We are open source, or offer. Joe said that we are open to a bounty, like offer a bounty for we are paying our developers, so if we are to implement features for like locked down third-party printers, you can offer us a bounty, and our devs can spend their time on that. So I guess that's another option. Stealth chop on extruder for Prusa Mini. Actually, yeah, stealth chop on the Mini. That's something I wanted to talk about because there's some confusion. So, Prusa Mini, I'm not sure. I think the extruder might be the only one that's not running in the stealth chop. But all the motors, all the moving axes are in stealth mode the whole time. I think the Mini is pretty quiet, and if there's something making noise on it, it would probably be the fans. So yeah, it's already running in stealth mode. There is no menu option to turn it into normal mode. It's just running in the stealth mode the whole time. Oh yeah, go ahead.
I've got a question from the Discord. Are there any plans for filament bundles for ASA or PC blends? I would say as we get more kind of colors out there and more kind of sales, there's definitely a potential. And we have to see how the PLA and the PETG bundles go, and see if you guys like them before we kind of really dive in. But I could definitely see, if the bundles are a success, I'm sure in the future we'll have bundles for everything.
Are there plans for Prusament resin that is tolerant to high temperature? So Prusament resin is quite new. We have just the 3 colors released. So right now we will be releasing more colors of the Prusament resin tough that we released. But we are definitely also working on like different grade resins. So stay tuned for that, but nothing that we could release right now. Okay, do we have any more questions? Just looking in the chat. Avoid crossing parameters is... I mean, the feature is very nice, but unfortunately it can't really be turned off all the way right now, even if you untick it. So also something we are aware of and might be improved in future PrusaSlicer releases. It's like the extra little layers in the inside of the model.
Raymond Elder says, is clicking on the x-axis okay on the Mark III? I would say you might likely have a bearing issue, but definitely get in touch with support. They will
for sure.
They will help you out.
The fastest way is to go to shop.prusa3d.com, and there's a little chat box in the top right corner. So that's, I think, the fastest way. You can also send an email if that's what you prefer.
Right. But 24-hour chat support is fantastic.
Yes, that's what you pay for when you're buying our printer. So definitely take advantage of it.
Yeah, exactly. So someone's saying 3 bags of sweets.
3 bags of sweets? I mean, we do have a lot of Haribo bears inside our factory. Prusa Connect, please. So we are in the second beta stage, so there are now more users let in. We have a forum and we are testing it, so it's moving along very nicely. So yeah, I'm not sure if we're going to be expanding the circles anymore, but the development is definitely moving forward quite nicely. So I hope we can show you something in one of the future streams.
Yeah. So with that, that's our show.
How to sign up? There is a link where you can. I don't know if I can get it from the top of my head, but if you Google Prusa Connect, I will post it somewhere. I will post it in the comments of this video. I'm not gonna look at it on the spot.
Right. So, like I said, that's our show. Thank you all for tuning in. We will see you at the end of October for our next show. Hopefully have a very spectacular Halloween show for you guys. Yes. Yeah, until then, stay safe, keep printing, and we can't wait to see you guys again.
Thanks everyone for joining us. See you in the next one.